Hey, I'm Kev Hillman. Welcome back to MXGP3. Has the hammer asserted his authority in Great Britain, but we're heading into Italy with a hard-packed surface. Will he struggle? Let's find out. Yes, here we are looking at this Italian track, the second of the season. And this one's got some wet patches where we've got a wet surface but dry weather. It looks like we do. So that may help with the hard-packed surface, getting those wheels digging in. So let's find out if that is the case with the hammer who's gone his qualifying effort. So wet track, but as you can see, nice sunny sky. So quite a few clouds in here as well. It should be a dry weather for the races. But as you can see, he's already struggling to get the bike into corners. And it's like the rain's done nothing to help with this surface. That's all he gets into the Swede, I believe that is, on the Yamaha, as it goes through the first jump. And this is another trite and twisty track. You'll see this with the up and down section coming later, and with this chicane here. Don't often see a chicane like that. The tracks on this calendar. Don't see hammer battling to get past. Oh, it's the Frenchman. Of course he's going to be battling back his title rival down in third. Well, I'll say his title rival is almost 100 points back. Or over 100 points back of Hillman. There we go. Hillman in name. Let's see if it's a Hillman in rider, in nature as well. As we go through the first left, hooked up that apex. Look at the dust hanging in the air. Wonderful to see. Just in this light as well. Let's go into the corners. Chain effect just ends there. You don't actually ride through it. You can see this is a very tricky set to look at. Just getting the power down. Really struggling. And then going, taking the wider line means he misses that inside jump. And he should have a better run over these mounds. He's on a rear wheel though. The bike's gone for the hammer. Just as he's going over the final jump, he does a 52. So the hammer loses it while the Italian doesn't. Look at that. At the top by almost a couple of tenths of a second ahead of the Slovenian. So KTM, Honda, Hazard now going third. Then there's the Yamaha, the Frenchman in fourth. And then the Honda of the Russian in fifth. Round out top 10, here's the Belgian of Van Horbeck. Hillman down in 14th. Despite that fall, still in the mid-pack. Decent that time, just a tenth slower than his teammate as well. And his other teammate in 11th. But a big gap between the teammates, almost a second there from 11th to 12th. Then right at the back, we've got the Swede. So let's see if Hillman can get a good race going as his running ability is improving. So we are lining up for the first race. Did not have a good first race first time round in Italy. Done a very up and down track as he gets the TV time alongside Townley and Didica. As we rev up the engine, wait for the gates to go. We're underway for this 5-hour race. We're digging into the dirt. Not a good start at all, and Crowley gets the whole shot on home turf. But Hammer's just battling not to be last. Really is struggling with the wheel spin in the moment. But he get into the rhythm as he's 3 wide. Just about holds on, goes round the outside, and look at that. It means he avoids that crash on the inside from the Swiss rider. So he gets up into 12, approaching the top 10 already. Down the inside of the Belgium. And almost into rider in front. But he's up into 8th. Fantastic start. And he's saying it's taking it outside line into that left-hander. Showing you the value sometimes of taking it outside line. Sometimes it feels like you're just... Oh no, he's taking down the Belgium. What's he doing? Just outbrakes himself and he's back down to last. Well, as I was saying, taking the outside line sometimes shows the value of doing that on the opening lap. And when there were many riders wide in the battle, as he avoided the trouble on the inside, which Hammer just did. So he's going to be battling through the field once again in Italy. In a race. Look at this, he's the last wide country mile It's just like Britain all over again. But in Britain, he did get back on the podium. Let's see if we can do this round. Much more difficult surface, much more difficult track. Seems like struggling with wheel spin just on this opening lap. Let's see if we can get a good set of mounds on like in qualifying. Finally gets it up to 5th gear. Trying slightly wide heading towards the final corner. As we go on to the second lap. Look how wide it is in front. Got that puddle as well in the middle of the apex approaching the first corner. Not very good. Keeping the high gears. Hillman. Let's see if we can get some traction with this Kawasaki. Good set of mounds as well. As he really is diving down the inside of the Swede. The Brit as well. In their battle to not finish last in the standings. So here we go towards the chicane. Makes it up to 21st, does he? No, he's been pushed out. Guy's going to be difficult not to finish last. Look at this. Defending hard with their life for 23rd. And still just struggling with the traction as well. You can see skidding into that right hander. It was probably the issue with the Belgium as well. Why he went into him. Look at everyone right in front. Really struggling round it, Hammer. For the first time this season, he might be struggling to score points. He's just not got it with this section, not got it with this Kawasaki in these conditions. Maybe he needs to do more setup choices. Be a bit better around it. You can see trying to take the inside and trying to use the ruts on the inside. Help get the bike round the corner. You can see he's just sliding everywhere. Let's see, get a scrub on. Another scrub on. As he approached the 3rd lap. Just about holding on. Still in last place though. No speed at all. Look at this, he's way back. Looks so ordinary. Look at everyone in the midfield in front already. Over the next set of mounds, over the next set of jumps. As he takes it outside line, trying to use the banks to get some shooting speed off these corners, but it's just not happening. As here we go into the chicane. Now it's something to do with the gearing as well. Look at that, he's really struggling for traction out of these corners. As around halfway through this race, and he's struggling to score points, struggling not to be last. Halfway through the race, look at the leader way in front of Hillman, a couple of corners. Let's see if we can take some different lines, take some wider lines maybe. That seems to help with momentum out of these corners. But they don't seem to be gaining on the riders in front. Oh, that was good. And then he goes into the advertising hoarding. What are you doing, Hammer, this race? You're being dreadful. He's down again. So here we go down the next set of jumps. I'm sure the Italian fans are very happy to see this. Not the Kawasaki's though. Not the championship leader. Going on to penultimate lap. Way behind everyone else. He's not going to score a point for the first time this season. He just does not have the pace in these conditions. Or even score a race this whole weekend. That could really open up the championship if that's the case. Might be showing that he maybe needs to change bike as well, change teams. As there goes down 20th, the Frenchman in front. But he's way in front of Hillman. So it won't affect Hillman not being last. Look at the midfield pack already over the next jump. As the Hammer trying to use the banks for momentum, but the bike's just not having it. This is the worst race he's ever ridden. Absolutely abysmal. It feels like there's nothing he can do. Look at that, last place already into the next corner while he's approaching this corner. He's not gaining time at all on the back markers. Now imagine all the time he's losing to the front runners in this race. So you go, he's getting momentum through corners at least, or trying to. Maybe this race would be so different if he actually survived the first lap. He didn't collide with the Belgium. Who knows? And he goes over the final set of jumps. Whoa, where's the bike going? As he goes into the final lap, 55. Is he riding an MX2 bike? Have we actually checked this is actually an MXGP Kawasaki? As he's not going to score any points, he's way behind. That's 21st that you just saw in front of you. And you can see the Hammer's around 15 seconds back. He's doing his best Alex Snow impression this race. Absolutely abysmal. But let's see what he can do in the second race, if he's learned anything from this race on how to ride in these conditions. Of course, don't make mistakes. I think that's perhaps the biggest thing. If he sticks with the pack, I reckon he could score points, but just being by himself here, he's just struggling. So you've got taking that outside line. We're taking outside line in all the corners. And see, his race is just relative with the back markers. Or his pace, should I say. This race is not relative to anyone. This race. Let's look at the French has already won. He's not even halfway through this section. And the Frenchman has already crossed the line for a victory. At least the Italian hasn't won. They're taking points off each other. That's the good thing for Hillman. He's not losing a maximum amount of points. All 25. The Italian. I'm quite very happy about that. So here goes Hammer across the line with a 49. And yes, he is definitely veering off course in that race. As the Italian did finish second though, so he did grab 20 points of the Hammer with the Russian rounding out the podium in third ahead of his fellow Honda rider. Nago in fifth, then coming off sixth. Top Kawasaki goes to the Belgian seventh. Tommy Searle back on form in the top 10 with De Licker on the Honda in ninth, good from the Belgium, as well as the other Kawasaki in 14th. And there is the Hammer in 22nd, a red plate, miles behind everyone else of Snow in 21st. So let's see what can happen in the second race. He needs to keep it clean if he wants to grab some points and not lose too much in the title battle. So we are set for the second race here in Mantova. And let's see if Hillman can actually grab some points. That's Townley getting the TV time. Here is Hillman lining up. Aiming to get away. Not the best getaway. Once again, revving it up too much. Maybe as Carly gets the whole shot again on home turf. There's Hillman. He's not last. He's up to 18th, 17th. He's making positions on this opening lap. Got a great decisive dive on the outside, on the inside. He's taken out Goldenhoff from fourth. Positioning here as the Swiss rider once again down on the opening lap. He's up into third ahead of the Frenchman, is he? Frenchman not having any of it. Here goes Hillman down the inside, up into second. Ahead of the home hero. Behind the Honda. was a fantastic opening lap. He's getting pushed wide though by the home hero. Hillman trying to give some of the treatment back. Just now. Oh, he's taken out. Again into that. Right-hander. That is just not his corner. Well, he's in the top 10. At least. Looks like he's going to try and make it up to 9th, up to 8th. Now let's see if he's good in this section. This is where he's majorly losing time. He's pathetic in this section. He goes down the inside of Searle. Looks like he's down to 10th. Trying to get past the Brit. He's just holding up in the apex of corners. Oh, he's just not getting the exit or the traction out of the corners. But it looks like he's made it up to 12th at least, so he's going to be in the points at the end of this opening lap. That's the main thing after that fall. He's going to be in the top 10 it looks like, up to 9th. Been very good. As that's the thing with Hillman this season, even with one poor race he does get a result in the other. And 10th may not sound like much of a result, but considering his pace around it, that'd be pretty good. Trying to dive it up into 8th. Can't quite make it stick though. So he sticks in 9th. It's a superb run though. Looking to the outside into chicane, which comes to the inside. Doesn't quite work, does it? It's Koldenhoff is down behind. So is the Italian on home turf from 12th. Now he's battling his teammate. Here's Hillman battling the Belgian for 7th. This race is going much better. See if he sticks with the pack. He does well as he's being pushed by the Frenchman though. Trying to get the power down. He sticks into 9th. Looking down the inside for 8th. Into the hairpin. He makes it stick. Now can he catch his teammate in front, the Belgium? Takes the inside line. Oh, you've got to stop doing that. Maybe take the outside. And so using that rear braker as well. Didn't use that really at all in the opening race. Maybe he's got to start doing that a bit more. Seems to be working, helping get that rear end around in these corners. He's got the Frenchman trying to fly behind on his Husqvarna. He's back in 22. The end of this second lap, 4/8. Looks like he's just going to take it. He sets a 49.9 already. That was his fastest lap in the opening race. Of course, he achieved it on the final lap though. As he already gets it up to 5th. And look at that, he's just bogging down. As the Swede is down from 17th. And he's just about holding on to the bike. Just about making it work this race. That's what he needs to do if he wants to maintain this championship lead, this handsome championship lead he has held for most of this season. That's a very messy chicane though. As they are battling in front now, they're slowing each other down. Which is good. So now here he goes, he tries to gain into this right hand hairpin. And you can see using that rear brake to whip it round. Always has a good left hander as well, leading up the hill into this first hairpin where he goes down the inside of his teammate. Not quite working. At least he's in a battle for the top 5 as he gets elbow to elbow with the Belgium. Sure his team will have words after the race as we're halfway through this. And very much part of the midfield, part of the pack that are scoring points. Here's Hillman. He could try and get a top 5 this race. If he continues being mistake free, that was a poor mistake there though. That's affecting him for the rest of the run over these mounds. The worst place to make a mistake. In that final section, as he just about survives, going on to the penultimate lap. He runs wide though. Drops back down to 9th at least. quick he gets 8th back though. Or does he? He's on the outside now. Getting into the hairpin, over the mounds. Gets back 8th. And uses that mound on the outside to get a good run out of the corner. And now he could be attacking his teammate who's battling hard for 7th. And he does. Now can he take 6th into the hairpin as his teammate's down behind. And guess who he's next to? It is the Husqvarna of Nagel once again. For Hillman for 6th. That's also a very slow left-hander. That was not good at all. You go into the tighter right hand and following the lines of Nagel, who seems to have a superb run. Now the number 22 wants a bit of a battle. Hammer doesn't want that at all. He wants to be catching Nagel and battling for a top 5. But then it looks like he's got the Honda in front. Is that the Frenchman or the Slovenian? It's just sliding wide on that right-hander though. That's a poor run. Trying to hold off the 22 into the left-hander. Not going to work though. Back down to 8th. All that work to get into a position to battle for the top 5. It's coming undone. And he's down from the top 10. Get going again, chap. Why are you looking around? Down to 15th. As we go on to the final lap. Had to cut down on the mistakes. He does it on the first lap. He does it on the penultimate lap. A couple of times. Let's see if he can hold on, score points. Use that rear brake to get around these corners. As that was a bit weird. So he gets past the Belgian, gets past his teammate as well. So you pass the Yamaha too. Looks like he is into 11th. There's a top 10 right in front. He's always scored at least one top 10 in every round this season. Let's see if you can do it again here in Italy. Probably won't be vacationing in Italy in the off season. We're going to have it bring up bad memories. And look at this, the Belgium after his fall wants to get back into that top 10 as well. Nudges his teammate wide. And Hillman gives some of it back. Like, why are you doing that? Got to work together as a team. Just so I was catching the top 10, you forced me back a couple of attempts. He goes into the hairpin, chucks the bike at the apex. Not much speed though. Trying to use that rear brake to get the bike around these corners. There you go, that's much better. Now here comes the Belgian for 11th. Forces the hammer wide. He's down to 13th. As all the Slovenian wins. On the Honda, he's down to 14th. Horrible run over the mounds once again. What's he doing? Well, he gets into 12th in the final corner. Still a poor result. He should have got a top 10, but made mistakes on that penultimate lap. As he's behind his teammate, Tommy Searle gets a top 10. This is all 3 Kawasaki's in a row, with the other one in 16th. No, the Swede not scoring points, with the Italian grabbing the final point, and this has Varna on the home turf. The Italian on the Honda in 18th. And then the main Italian in the second, another second place for Caroni, with the Slovenian winning by around 2 seconds. And you've got the Frenchman, Napoleon, around 2.5 seconds back in third on the Yamaha. And you've got the Honda of the Russian in fourth, the Nagel in fifth. That's where Hillman should have been. Then we've got Swiss in sixth, then Palais in seventh. The Belgium eighth on the Suzuki good comeback. Then the Frenchman on Husqvarna in ninth. So not the week that Hillman needed, or the round that Hillman needed. Look at that, down in 16th with just 9 points. Scored absolutely terrible. Not as bad as Alex Snow once again. No on the Yamaha with Neil Pro. So we've got the Italians in 19th, 8 Townley down in 17th. He's just 3 points behind his French teammate though. As they can further up, there is Searle ran out the top 10 with the Belgium in 6th, the Nagel in 5th, the Russian in 4th, the Slovenian in 3rd. And then the Italian in second, a point behind the overall winner, the winner of the first race, the Frenchman on the Yamaha. So the championship gets a bit more interesting, but there's still over a 2-race win. Over a round lead for Hillman over the Italian. 52 points back, but he definitely has taken a large dent out of that lead, as he is 13 points ahead of the Frenchman, who's 65 points back. He's still in with a chance. Nagel, 87 points back in fourth, 22 behind the top 3. He's got an outside chance. And then over 100 points back is the Slovenian in fifth on the Honda. He probably is out of it. With the Kawasaki in sixth of the Belgian, 43 points off a top 5. 8 points ahead of the Frenchman. He's 2 points ahead of Koldenhoff. 4 points ahead of the Russian. And then 5 points further back is the Swiss rider, who's 4 points ahead of Van Horbeck in the battle for the top 10. Tommy Soen 14th, Townley 13th, Alex Snow. And the Swede battled, locked in battle for last place with 11 points and 58 points behind the pack. So a terrible weekend in Italy for Hillman. He does improve his rain ability though, which is rare, up to 58, and braking for emergent and control up to 88. Hey, there are many teams interested in racing with you. You can consider their offers, continue with your current team, or race with a custom team. So what does Hillman do for the final third of the season? Let's choose a new official team. So he's been with Kawasaki, he's been with Honda. Does he join Yamaha? KTM, they probably don't want him, to be fair. Or does he join Husqvarna alongside Nagel and the Frenchman? And then we've got the other Yamaha team with the Swiss. Then we've got Kawasaki with the Brit. And you've got Suzuki as well, with Townley and the Belgium. And we've got Simpson as well on the KTM. We've got Nichols on the Husqvarna. So who does Hillman race for? Well, I did see in the comments of an older video for this series to go for the Husqvarna. So that's what we join. We're joining arch rival Nagel, Will Hillman. And let's see if the new team will bring new fortunes for Hillman, and if he can bounce back in the Czech Republic around the Loket circuit, intermediate ground, very undulating, a bit more free-flowing than the previous couple of circuits we have seen, a bit like Britain, with its fast-flowing nature in that last section, but more uphill and downhill, and there's a bit of a tight and twisty section in the middle as well. But let's see if Hillman can recover and maintain that championship lead on the Italian. South watching, and I will see you next time.